Two, one, live. Hey, 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 ladies, women over 50, it's time. It's time for me to come back in here today and do day two. Day two of the training that I started yesterday, the master class on how to access your power. I know some ladies have checked this out and they're getting some good value out of it. So if you're new to this and you don't know what this is about, you can go back and watch day one. It's under the guide section. I think I've also pinned it to the top of the group. So if you missed day one, you can go to the top of the group and check it out. So again, this is how to access your power. And I always like to review day one just a little bit, just so that you know what you missed if you didn't see it. What I covered yesterday was understanding what your power is. It's really, I'm talking about your personal power. And it's really just being you, being your authentic self and creating the life that you want. And I also believe that your personal power, it's something that it's not somebody doesn't give it to you. You're born with it. It's God given. So it's your own personal power. And I also shared my story, so that you know that I'm a good, credible person to talk about losing your power and gaining it back, because I certainly had a roller coaster life myself. And yeah, so that's what you missed yesterday. And I also covered how to recognize when you're giving your power away. So little sneaky things you may not even recognize when you're giving your power away. And some of it, for me, it's always my body tells the story. My body always tells me what's going on for me right here in the gut. So today I'm going to cover how to break the habit of giving your power away. And for me, I believe that this is all about just taking responsibility for our lives. So if you're here watching me, please say hello. And if you're watching this on the replay, please put hashtag replay. That helps the algorithms on Facebook and it pushes it up so that more ladies who may be interested in seeing this will see it in the group. So again, I believe the way to break your habit of giving your power away is taking responsibility for our lives. And here is a quote by James Redfield that I think is appropriate. So, blaming our behavior on forces outside of us is a way of avoiding responsibility. So I think there's this a common misunderstanding in our society around taking responsibility and what that really means. Somehow we're making it mean the same thing as like accepting fault or accepting blame for something. And given this understanding, why would anyone ever really want to take responsibility, right? I mean, if it's not about fault or blame, it's really not that. It's really, in my opinion, it's freedom, right? So in the way that I look at it, it's like if you are a part of the problem, then you can be a part of the solution. I mean, it makes sense. But I mean, again, I didn't always live my life like this, right? I lived my life as a victim for a fair amount of years. So full disclosure, I know if you find yourself doing any of the things I talk about, please just know that there is a way forward from it. But it's just awareness is the key to recognizing what you want to shift in your life. Okay, so responsibility to me is the power to choose, to change the future or rewrite history and put a stop to any undesirable patterns or loops or habits that you find yourself stuck in your life, that are stuck on repeat in your life. But first, you have to remove blame, shame, and fault energy around your definition of responsibility. And I also believe that people confuse taking responsibility for their lives with obligation for those things that maybe they previously committed to, like expenses or children or other people and relationships, their work, their house or car payments, etc. But they are not one and the same either. Okay? Taking responsibility is the same thing as self-love. It means understanding that you are the cause of the effect of your life. And you look inside for the solutions to all of your external issues rather than looking outside for a fix. Now, the answers are all right in here, okay? They're not out here. They're never out here. They're always in here, okay? The more you get to know me, you're going to see I'm always pointing. I know whenever I'm frustrated or angry or upset or whatever, I got to look at me. It's like, what's going on for me? Okay. I'll talk about all this later. But when you take responsibility for your life, you understand that you create all of your thoughts, all of your feelings, and all of your actions. And no one and no thing can make you feel anything. In fact, and this is going to be hard maybe for some of you to wrap your head around because it took me a while to do it myself, but really all things in life are just neutral. I mean, they just are. It's the meaning that you're giving to something that makes you feel a certain way about it, like good or bad or right or wrong or glass half empty or glass half full. It's your interpretation. It's the meaning that you're interpreting your life with that makes you feel the way you feel. And you can change any of that, right? I mean, just for example, I think it's so important to throw in examples. When I left my husband, I had an affair. Okay, I had an affair. And I felt terrible about that. And full disclosure, I had an affair with a woman. Okay, and I came up in a Christian home, and I mean, I was beside myself. I'm like, who am I? What is going on for me? And for years, I beat myself up about that. I made it mean something that was terrible about me, and I struggled in shame and guilt around that forever. I mean, for a very long time. And then I realized that I had the power to assign a new meaning to that part of my life. And I assigned several things to it. For example, I have a lot of love to give, and I'm attracted to certain types of energies out there. That's one thing. I don't need to label myself as anything, right? And I also assigned this too. It's like I was doing the best that I can at the time with what I knew at the time and what I needed at that time. Okay, so, and I feel so much lighter around that. And I've been able to forgive myself. I've been able to release a lot of that guilt and shame. And I just feel so much better. And it's allowed me to take back my power and my energy around that and move forward with my life. So I hope I didn't freak anybody out with that. I'm an open book. I mean, there's not really anything that I won't tell you about myself because I'm not ashamed of anything because I've reconciled so many things that I've done in my past. So, all right. Now that I've covered taking 100% responsibility, I want to give you what I've identified are the 9 ways that you can break the habit of giving your power away while taking 100% responsibility. Okay? So, number 1, stop projecting your own stories. You can't make up a story about what someone else thinks or feels about you without that story somehow being a projection of your own beliefs that you have about yourself. Okay? I hope you got that because that's pretty, I mean, we project onto other people what we believe about ourselves. Okay? Deep inside of you, you believe those very stories that you're making up inside of your head, like I can't do that, or this is, something that's impossible for me, or I'm always late, or that's just how I am. I mean, just notice the things that you're telling yourself because You're believing the stories you're telling yourself. Next, stop playing the blame game. Okay. Again, example. I heard my mom once say, and I'm the youngest of four girls. I heard my mom once say that she only wanted two children, and I'm number four. And she said this when she didn't think I could hear her, and it wasn't anything bad, and it's not like I don't know my mother loves me. Okay, that's not it. But I'm just saying I could have taken that as a golden opportunity to blame her for all of my shortcomings because I wasn't wanted or I was a burden or whatever story I could make up about what I heard her say, right? Or I can take responsibility for the life that I'm actively creating for myself. And the second or the latter feels just a lot more powerful to me, okay? Blaming equals playing the victim, and you're robbing yourself of growth and actively giving your power away. So when you hear yourself say things like, it's their fault because, or I did that because you made me feel, okay, that's you giving your power away. And any and all situations where you're making excuses or reasons not to own the part that you played in something, and he's suggesting that maybe someone made you do or feel a certain way, that's also giving away your power, okay? Number 3, stop outsourcing decisions. You are responsible for knowing what it is that you want. And you're responsible for being in alignment with what you want through your thoughts and words and actions, right? And consciously moving in the direction of what it is you want every day. So if you find yourself saying things like, and I used to say this too, whatever is meant to be will be, right? I mean, that's a sneaky way for you to sit back and do nothing and not take responsibility, okay? I just want to say, I know this is heavy, okay? But I share all of this with you with so much love because I want so much to set all of you free so that you can take back your power and move forward, okay? Okay, so number 4, gossiping and complaining. So if you catch yourself talking about someone else and it's not solution oriented, but you're simply talking behind someone's back, you're giving your power away. You're also taking on that victim's energy again. So while it's great to talk it out and explore things before you go and actually talk to the person that you need to talk to, if weeks or months go by and you haven't actually ever had a conversation with that person directly, you're gossiping and complaining, okay? So give yourself the gift of forward movement and power and speak directly to the people that you have an issue with, okay? Number 5, you have an addiction to busy. As a society, this is a big one. I think we bought into this addiction to reacting to the world and whatever may be thrown at us over the course of a day, rather than responding responsibly. So when you have an addiction to busy, what happens is your subconscious mind is always seeking things to interact with, the next shiny object. I mean, I get caught up in this too. It's like people call me, what are you doing? Oh, I'm so busy. It's like, it's an addiction to busy. So what we have to do is deny those distractions and start consciously creating our day. So if you can identify what distracts you, then you can take back your power and start creating your days and accomplish the things that you want to in a day, okay? Number 6, stop over-giving. I'm an overgiver. If you find yourself surrounded by takers, consider this. Maybe the common denominator is you. If you're giving to others and expecting something in return, and then you're resentful of others when they don't give you what you want, you're giving your power away. So I encourage you and invite you to look around your life where you're overgiving and get clear and honest with yourself why you're doing it. Make it a priority to clean up all those strings attached giving And then only give when you genuinely feel pulled to do so. Okay? It feels so much better. Number 7, stop focusing on the problems. Focus on solutions rather than the problems. Focus on what you or others are doing right instead of what you or others are doing wrong. Focusing on the things that you can't control is also another way of giving away your power. So take your power back by focusing on what you do control and what you want to experience. So when you catch yourself trying to control or change others, shift that attention back to you. Okay? Again, just like I said earlier, if you're part of the problem, you can be part of the solution. However, the flip side is also true. If you're not part of the problem, then you can't be a part of the solution. Okay? Number 8, stop comparing yourself to others. There is no comparison. You are you. Focus on you. Compare you to yourself yesterday. It feels so much better. Number 9, stop competing with others. There is no competition. There is only one you in the world. You're unique and you're amazing, and it's just one you, okay? The very best gift that you can give to the world is to just be you. And you are here to create for the world, not to compete for your worth. You were born worthy. All right. You own your thoughts, your feelings, and actions, and do not blame others or the circumstances for them. Okay. Learn how to not take things personally, and everything is going to feel so much better. So the other thing that I wanted to cover today was that you can actually take back your power without turning into a bitch. Okay, because I know that I had that confused for a long time. If I stood in my power and I, asked for what I wanted, that I was going to come off as this aggressive woman, and I didn't want to be that. But that's actually my story that I had around it, and that's actually not true. So I just want to say you can actually lead with love, and you can step into your power without turning into a nasty person. So I had a coach years ago tell me, you can set sparkly pink boundaries with everyone around you. Okay. So if you have difficulty setting boundaries, just set them with people who are further out from your inner circle first. Like the very first person I ever set a boundary with when I was going through this practice myself was the man who, well, this was back when I used to get a newspaper, the guy who gave me my newspaper. Okay. And he used to always just throw it in the middle of my yard, and then the sprinklers would attack the paper, and then I could never read it, right? So I remember asking him, I waited for him and I pounced on him when he came by, and I said, is there any chance that you could put my newspaper on my front porch? And he said yes. And then from then on, my newspaper was on my front porch. And I know that's not a big deal, but what it did for me is it gave me a piece of evidence that I could step off from, or pick it up and go, wow, I did that, and realize that I can set boundaries and it doesn't make me a bitch. So I hope that helps for any of you. And so that's what I wanted to cover today. And tomorrow will be day 3 of this masterclass on how to access your power. And sometimes I also think that we lose touch with our power because we lose touch with ourselves, with our bodies, with ourselves. And I'm so much about connecting to your body. So if you feel like you are disconnected from your body as well as your power, if that's something that resonates with you, I would love to offer up another free guide that I've got that it's how to connect with your body. And I do work with women around releasing weight because when I do believe when you start taking back your power and figuring out what your stories are and rewriting your stories, so many things in your life change. Your health changes, your body changes, and so many women I've worked with just release weight just by going through the process of working through what it is they're telling themselves. So if that's something that you feel you're disconnected from your body, I'd love to offer you my free guide that helps you connect to your body. And it has exercises in there that you can try, and some of them just take a couple of minutes a day. And if, especially if you struggle with giving yourself even a couple of minutes a day, then this guide is definitely for you. So if you'd like that, then drop the word connect underneath this video, and I'd be happy to share that with you, because I think the more that we connect with ourselves, with our bodies, with who we really are, that's powerful. And that is a way for you to reconnect with your power as well. So if you'd like that, please put connect below. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, with day 3 of how to access your power. And I hope you all, or whoever's interested, will join me tomorrow. And that's it. So thanks so much for listening, and I'll be back tomorrow.